Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen aus Berlin. It is about 9:45-ish on Saturday, June the 6th? 7th? 8th. My sprints are starting in about an hour and a half. I want to get a little bit done before that. I want to get a little bit further into the book. I'm on about page 40, I think, before sleep took over last night. But I'd love to be around page 100 before I get onto sprints, because I just want to streamline this book. I want to absolutely go for it. So I'm going to go out on my balcony. I'm going to make a cup of coffee first. I'm going to go out on the balcony, and I'm going to get as much of this book read as I can. It is a Marion Keyes book, and I absolutely adore Marion Keyes, but I don't think I'm getting the same vibe as I ever did with another Marion Keyes before. I don't know how I feel about this book. Now, it is only early days. It is 40 or so pages in. So let's see how we continue. Let's see how it keeps going. But I have got it back up as an audiobook just in case we don't love it.
We are getting to Berlin, well, I'm getting to Berlin, and we've just gotten our detour, which is to find our prettiest book and to share it on social media. I don't actually know what my prettiest book is. Also, I thought that the detour would go in a completely different direction. I thought we were going to be doing something about Berlin's beer culture. I thought we were going to do something about Germany's beer culture as a whole. So you had to share the book that you were reading with a drink that you were drinking at the present time, or your favorite drink, or your usual coffee order. I know that we did that something similar last year. Do I have stunning books? I have a couple. I'm going to disappear. Let's see what we come back with. I am returned. I've got 3 options. First one is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, however that goes in the order, by Charlie Maxey. I just love the simplicity of this entire book, but I also love the cover. It's got all of the illustration guide that the entire book itself has. It's got the entire illustration style, so this is a good option. I've also got Love Like Farms by B.K. Barrison. This has got a really nice and festive cover without being overly festive. So I've got this one as well. This is also pretty cute. But I think that the forerunner for now is The Beach Holiday by Isabel Broom. It just screams out summer to me. I think as well the cover of The Getaway, also by Isabel Broom, is really summery. It's really bright. I really love the nature aspect of it. I really love the water and the trees. It kind of reminds me of a park near my house. I don't know. I'll figure it out. You'll see when you see. But while we're here, let's talk about the evening. On Saturdays, my partner and I like to spend some time together, and he is German. So there's nobody better to do some of the little shenanigans that I have got in store with. I'm going to go and have a really traditional Berlin, drunk food. Even though I am completely, totally sober, I'm going to go out. We're going to have a durum for dinner. We're going to have he might have a kebab, but I'm definitely going to have a durum, which is a wrapped up tortilla with durum meat. I usually get chicken because I'm not a big lamb fan. You get some salads with it. You get some vegetables with it. You get a choice of sauce with it. And then we're going to go and we're going to get some Berliner Weiss. Berliner Weiss is a beer that is brewed here in Berlin, and it comes in 2 flavors. You have got the red one, which is Himbeer, which is raspberry. You've got the green one, which is Waldmeister, which is woodruff flavored. And I despise Waldmeister flavor, but there are a couple of Germans on Team General Fiction, and they have been at me that I need to drink one. And when I told him that they've been at me, and he couldn't break through the barrier, he was like, well, you know what? We're all against you right now. So we're all going to get you to drink a Berliner Weiss. So I have got to go out. I'm going to buy 1 bottle of each, and I've got to drink both.
pals in the distance. It's Sunday morning, the 9th of June. I am within touching distance of Berlin at the moment. I have about 100 pages left of The Woman Who Stole My Life. It is insane. It is so much more insane than I thought that it would be. It is about a woman named Stella who is in a car accident one day, rams into a Range Rover, and then you fast forward a couple of months later and she has locked-in syndrome. She is in a hospital. She cannot communicate with anybody except for blinking. Every other muscle is completely redundant. A new neurosurgeon is working in the hospital. They come in and they've heard about this kind of tactic from, I think, the States, where people will communicate by blinking an eye to represent a letter. So they'll go through the halves of the alphabet and then they'll go through, is it a vowel or consonant? And then they'll go, oh, okay, is it P, Q, or S, whatever. It was really fun to learn about. It was really good to watch that part of the book because it was done really well. And then Stella falls in love with a neurologist, which I thought was a little bit kind of Stockholm syndrome-y. She and her husband had been in a basically loveless marriage for years and years, but everyone is basically blaming Stella for abandoning her husband after he had stayed with her when she was going through this horrific thing that had happened to her. And you're basically seeing the repercussions of it as I'm getting to the last 100 pages. So when I've that finished, we're going back to hang out with Mia for a little bit until I get to the end of the first Princess Diaries book. I'm going to fit it into one of the sightseeing prompts. I'm not sure as of yet which one. Then I've got a busy day. So I'm hoping to get all of that done before I get anything started. One of my friends and I are going to have coffee later on in the afternoon, and then after that we're going to go and have pizza for dinner because he is Italian and he is going to try and basically convince me that going to Rome for 12 hours is a fantastic idea. I already know that it's a great idea and I already know that I want to go, but he's basically going to be the Italian tourism board for an evening and just tell me what I need to do and what I need to see and where I need to eat and all of those things. Yesterday we had the detour where we had to show a book that had a beautiful cover, and it was not the detour that I thought that it would be. It was not the detour where you had to show your book and what you were currently drinking or your favorite drink or your coffee order. But I have still gotten the beers. I still have 2 Berliner Weisse. I have one in raspberry and I have one in Waldmeister, which I think is like Woodruff in English. And for the sake of Team General Fiction, I'm going to drink both of them. The one that I'm not looking forward to is the Waldmeister one because it's such a specifically German flavor. People who have grown up with it love it and they are obsessed with it. And the people in the team who are German, who have grown up with it, love it and obsessed with it. But I hate it. It's like the coriander gene for me. It just tastes like soap. But the Himbeer, the raspberry, I absolutely fuck with. So I'm going to have a really good time with that one. But I need to push past the green one first. I'm going to go get reading and then I'm going to come back to you and show you the beers. I hate this part with every fiber of my being, but I said I would do this. So I have got 2 Berliner Weisse here. I've got the Waldmeister one and I have got the Himbeer one. Because the Waldmeister is the one that I like the least, that's the one I'm going to start with. They've been cooling in the fridge overnight. I'm going to show you the color of them before I start drinking. So as you can see, this is violently green. I'm doing this for the team. That tastes like soap. Okay, we're going to the good stuff. This one is raspberry flavored. Raspberries are my favorite fruit. Raspberries are my favorite flavor. So this is the one that I'm actually going to enjoy. So I'm going to have a bit more. Pulsed. This one is much nicer. The flavor of the raspberry is quite subtle. The flavor of the Waldmeister is also a little bit subtle, but you can definitely tell that both of them are in there. If I had to buy a second one of them, I don't think that there's any competition.
we're already in Berlin, or we're getting to Berlin, or we're traveling to Berlin. I live in Berlin. I have been living here for about 2.5 years now, so I thought there's no better idea than to give you some insider tips as to what to do when you've actually gotten to Berlin and the things that you can sightsee. So I am joined today by my wonderful friend and colleague Arnaldo, who is going to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Arnaldo. I'm also a fellow YouTuber. My YouTube channel is White Without Fantasy Arnaldo Pangia, which is my family name. And I'm super stoked of being here and doing this together. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, because we've been living here for so long, Arnaldo, you've been here for about 5 years now?
5 years.
So we thought it might be a good idea to tell you some things that you can do if you are ever in Berlin yourself, or the things that while you're reading your sightseeing books, you're going to be seeing. So the first thing is, what is something that you wish you knew about Berlin before you moved here?
German.
Yeah.
By all means. But I have to say that there's a stark difference between visiting Berlin and living in Berlin.
Yeah, that's so true.
One can function on a superficial level very well just with English itself.
And Berlin is a really international city. There's people from pretty much all walks of life, all countries from the world are represented. But for doing the really nitty-gritty things, if you're moving to Berlin and if you're living here, you will need to have a little bit of the language.
Absolutely.
Something that I wish that I had known before not just moving to Berlin, but the entirety of Germany, is that Sunday is basically a rest day. Everything is closed, and I mean everything. The only things open are restaurants, bars, and supermarkets that are in like train stations or airports. Everything else, clothes shops, bookstores, gas stations are open.
Yeah.
But bookshops, clothes shops, normal grocery stores, everything is closed. And you have no problem with that.
No, actually, I'm a stark supporter of that. I used to work as a simultaneous interpreter, but not with German. My work languages were English, Italian, French, and a little bit of Mandarin Chinese. But the thing is that I decided to move to Germany because of, economic reasons. And I was here and I could not speak any German, and I felt pretty much useless because, my degree, my previous life. So long story short, I needed to pivot. And one of the easiest college jobs to make you pivot is customer service. I did work in customer service right when there was a huge crisis in Italy for riders and riders' rights and so on. So to make the long story short, I had to work in weird hours. I had to work on Sundays. I had to work. I had to work pretty much any time, and it was stressful. And that's the reason why I think that the government should step in and protect, time off for people.
Yeah.
People working in supermarkets can have a family.
Exactly.
And having the Sunday off. It's a good thing, so I really support that. And hey, if you really crave for ice cream, you can get it at a gas station. Like I said, if you don't have anything to eat, you can get it at a gas station or at a restaurant, or you can get a donut or anything. You're not going to starve. Hospitals are open. You're going to survive. It's fine. Just touch grass, right?
Yeah. So since Sundays aren't a day of shopping, they are pretty much a day of rest. A lot of Germans like to go outside. They like to go hiking. They like to go to the park. What is your favorite thing to do then on a Sunday? If you're not like staying at home or watching TV or resting.
Fair enough. I have a car, so the thing I like to do is to drive my car somewhere in the countryside, maybe. Berlin is surrounded by Brandenburg, which is a region, let's say Land in German, filled with lakes, woods, so you can enjoy nature. If time outside is gritty and it's not nice during winter, then one thing which I like doing is still going outside. It's not bad. I like that. There's a lot of brunch places, and up until some time ago, brunch was for me, I used to have brunch once a week, and I got so much weight, it was bad. So actually now I'm hitting the gym. I'm enjoying hitting the gym. There's a nice gym with a sauna and hot tub or whatever. That's also an option if you're in Berlin. Just be very wary. You have to be comfortable with nudity.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was born and raised in Italy. It's a Catholic country, such as
Just like Ireland.
So at the beginning, I was a little bit, oh my God, I'm naked. Now I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So even the the conversation. Oh, well, what do you do if you bump into somebody you know? Like, I mean, that's for free to watch. Enjoy. What can I say? I don't mind. It's not sexual. It's like you're in the sauna. It's fine.
That's true. For me, I stay pretty much in Berlin city center. I go to Mauerpark, which is in the former east of the city, I think. It's in an area named Prenzlauer Berg, which is a little bit up and coming. But Mauerpark on Sundays is just an explosion of color and noise. There's a massive market that happens across the park. So there's a lot of food stalls, there's a lot of jewelry stalls, there's a lot of vendors in there. There's also karaoke on Sunday mornings, which is so much fun.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's so much fun. I love just walking around Mauerpark and listening to everybody and like trying different foods that are there. It's so much fun. But if you are going out to a restaurant, where is your top tip?
Ooh, my top tip. Okay, this is going to be probably controversial, but
Oh boy.
I noticed that there are German restaurants and non-German restaurants. And by German, I mean restaurants thought and designed for a German audience, a local audience, and those who are more international. I have to say that being German restaurants a little bit more localized, they kind of taste a little bit all the same. I'm sorry, but which is not necessarily bad, but it's that kind of experience. So everything is kind of bland because things cannot be too spicy.
Yeah,
because
Germans don't really have the palate for spice.
No, which is okay. There's a lot of German dishes which I love, like Spargel, like a white asparagus with hollandaise sauce and Schinken, like some sort of German prosciutto.
Yeah.
Because it's not ham, so it's fine. So, okay, back to my previous conversation. In Berlin, food is great. You can find a lot of authentic dish. I would argue that the best pizza I've ever eaten, like Italian style pizza, can be found in Berlin.
Which restaurant?
My favorite one is Standard.
I really like Standard. I really like Standard.
And also they have very seasonal ingredients. Pizza is expensive, but you can find friarielli, which are some kind of, I think in American English are called broccoli rabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did talk about those before.
Yeah, we did talk about that. But wow, it's even hard to find friarielli in Italy sometimes, especially northern Italy. So that like look for the authentic thing. And also Chinese food is a little bit more complicated to be found, maybe more in western Berlin, but you can find like fully fledged authentic China like food as in China. So just bear in mind though that if you find something like with a flag outside and the flag depicts the nationality of the food you're about to eat,
don't go in.
If you go there, it's probably
or
something
lower
more
your
like,
expectations.
Lower your expectation. It's something more like, okay, German palate. It's very vanilla. It's fine, but it's not the real thing.
Yeah, my food insider tip is Burgermeister. There are maybe.
Nice.
See now.
High five.
See now you know that it's a good tip because as soon as I said it, he just went
Yeah.
Burgermeister is a burger chain that is mainly based in Berlin. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else in the country. There are maybe 7 or 8 of them across Berlin. There's definitely one at Alexanderplatz. There's definitely one at Eberswalder Straße, which is really near to the Mauerpark that I said about. There's a couple of others across the city, but the original and the best, watch me butcher this pronunciation, is in Schlesisches Tor.
Holy moly, you did it!
know!
You did it!
Schlesisches Tor is a U-Bahn station in Berlin. And the original Burgermeister was set up there in a decommissioned toilet. Now, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but it is such an interesting experience to go and order at the toilets, and then you just eat it at one of the standing tables that's around. I absolutely love bringing people to it, and the food is so good. It is phenomenal burgers. They're all super fresh. The chips are super thick and crusty. I absolutely love it.
Now that you said that, there's a nice Bermuda Triangle of calories in that Eberwalder Straße that you mentioned.
You have got pizza chicken,
Yeah.
Burgermeister,
Kokyo.
and Ruyam.
Oh, which one?
Ruyam. It's a really, really good
I know
doodle
what
place.
you're talking about, yeah.
It's always got a massive line outside there. You've got Malafamena pizza. You have got Kokyo. You have
which is
got,
excellent Korean fried chicken, which I recommend.
what's it called? Takumi has just opened another one there, which is really good Japanese ramen. There's a Mexican place nearby. There's a Vietnamese place nearby. There are so many different options.
Jungen, which is super complicated to Zum Schusterjungen is also a very good Berliner restaurant. So it's German food, like I said, good. Just be very wary. The Schweinhax, the pork knuckle, is boiled. It's not
it's not
grilled.
grilled.
Not fried. It's not grilled. So just be very wary.
Okay. So your friend has just arrived in Berlin, and it's their first time in the city, and they say, "I want to see the quintessential Berlin tourist spot. I want to see the big site that everyone talks about."
Okay.
Where are you bringing them?
I come from Italy, and we've been very blessed by the fact that if you dig, you find an amphora or something. So Italy has been inhabited for centuries. There's a lot to see everywhere.
Yeah.
So being the majority of my friends, also fellow compatriots, I'm going to warn them that Berlin is underwhelming for sightseeing. Berlin
Wow, get those books in, guys.
Yes, no, absolutely. There's nothing to be seen which really strikes you in Berlin. I would say Brandenburger Tor.
Is
I
pretty
like
cool.
It.
I do
like
like the
it very
Brandenburger
much.
Tor, especially at this time of year because of the Euros Championship. It's turned into this massive fan zone where people are going to be coming to watch all of the Euro games, and they've got like a really big tarpaulin of grass, like set out for a mile in front of it. I think that's pretty cool. I think I would usually take people to Brandenburger Tor if I was taking people to see anything. I would probably do like the stretch of walk from Alexanderplatz to Brandenburger Tor, which takes in the TV tower, the cathedral, which is somewhere here behind us. You get to see Unter den Linden, which is a really long street across Berlin. You get to see the Humboldt, is that the university?
Yeah.
Humboldt University, right in the middle of the city centre. And you end up at Brandenburger Tor. So you see quite a lot of really impressive buildings while you're on the way.
But what I would argue is that you don't impress people by showing pieces of Berlin, but experiencing Berlin. So I would, what really happens is oftentimes people come and visit me and say, oh, I really want to do this. I really want to check that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of activities and lots of stuff to do. That's also what I like about Berlin. And the reason why I moved away from Italy is that Italy looks good. But there's not a lot to experience to some extent. It's a lot of looking good. Whereas Berlin is the other way around. Okay, some places look bad.
Dodgy.
Like the Plattenbau, the communist blocks, like they don't look good. But there's a lot to do, a lot to experience. You like food, you get to eat everything from everywhere in the world. You like video games, you get to play video games. You like hardcore sex, you can get to hardcore
go to
clubs.
Kit Kat.
You go to Kit Kat. You like something super vanilla, then you can do something super vanilla. You like sports, you get to, So there's a little bit for
Berlin is
for
the
everyone.
city for everybody, basically. So now that we have given you an insider tip into what to do in Berlin, go get reading them sightseeing books, and we will see you when you get to Berlin. I can't get one evening to go out and eat pizza. I went out to have dinner with a friend of mine. He is Italian, his wife is Italian, and I have wanted to go to Italy for pretty much my entire life. But I knew that if I was to get my partner on board, I would need the help of 2 actual native Italians. Came back, we had a chaos. We had a prompt drop. We're going to Paris
for which we need to read a book that has won an award. And for this, I am going to go with one of my host's favorite because I really need to start stocking up again on the money. So I'm going to go with The Book Thief. I haven't read this since about 2017, and that was when I moved to Germany. I've now been living here for about 7 years. My German anniversary is actually coming up next Monday, so it's not going to time up perfectly, but it is going to be in the week that's leading up to it. So hopefully I am going to celebrate almost 7 years in Germany by crying my eyes out to a book about the Holocaust. This is going to absolutely rip my heart in shreds, but it is one of my favourite books of all time. It will absolutely destroy me, but I'll have a great time reading it. I'm so excited to get back into it, and it's also going to stock up on the genre bonus, and it's also going to stock up on some GRC that I desperately need right now. There's a lot of people in genre fiction right now who are reading Yellowface. Some of them for the first time, some of them doing it as a reread. I'm going to join in with that. I'm going to use it as an audiobook, and I'm going to use that as my sightseeing prompt. This has won a buttload of YA awards, so I think I'm pretty good no matter which one I go with. And I basically asked my train driver to floor it on my way back to home, just so that I could go and pick this up. I'm excited. I think also when I'm finished, I'm going to watch the adaptation of this again. It's one of my favorite adaptations, and it stays really, really true to the source material. I first watched it, I think it was about 2014 or so. I was in between houses, so I was in a hotel for a couple of nights, and I just wanted something that was familiar, and I wanted something that I knew was going to kind of tide me through the night, and then ended up crying myself to sleep. So I think I'm ready to fully batter my emotions and meet them head on. I'm at Claire Devlin levels of stress right now, and I really hope we all know what that means. It's Tuesday, the 11th of June, and there has been so much happening since I last saw you on Sunday. I actually don't know where to begin. First one, I'm in Paris. Not physically, I'm in Berlin, but I'm also in Paris. I finished The Book Thief earlier on while I was at work, cried spectacularly in my office. My sightseeing book was Yellowface because I was so torn between the two of them. I knew it had to be one or the other. I've got a couple of other sightseeing books on the go. I have submitted another one for another 500 points. There was a chaos this morning while I was on my way to work where we had the Detour for Paris drop, and we had to share a bunch of books that had the same colour cover as the 5 rings of the Olympic flag, since the Olympics is happening in Paris this year. Made sense. So me, being incredibly naive, thought that that was the end of the shenanigans for today. And then I got home from work, and Brie gave us a brand new shenanigan. We now have a piece called the U-turn that is a part of the game, and in this, every person on every team has got 2 votes, and you use these votes to vote for who you would like to have to do prompt 6, whatever city, whatever prompt that may be, twice. They have to read 2 books to fit into that prompt before they can move on to city 7. We still don't know what that is. We still don't know what prompt it's going to be, but I have a feeling Brie is not going to make it an easy prompt to fill. I have no idea what city we're going to be in. I have no idea what the prompt is going to be. Let's just see how it goes. Salut tout le monde. Nous sommes arrivés à Paris. That is the best I can offer you in French. I am so sorry. We've arrived in Paris, and we are now en route to city number 5, which is Cape Town. For Cape Town, you need to read a book that has nature somewhere on the cover. I kind of shot myself in the foot here. I was so sure that if I brought my Kindle, there was absolutely zero way that I couldn't find something that would fit this prompt, because there's hundreds of books on the Kindle. There's so much on there that I had to find something that would fit. But the first book that came to my mind, every other book in the series is on this thing except for the one that I have to read first, and that is Beartown. Yes, I have already read Beartown. Yes, it is one of my host favorites, but I want to go back to the start. I want to go back to where it all began so that I can get myself really immersed into the story. What I'm really hoping is that this year, Us Against Them and the Winners is going to fit into 2 other prompts that I can really bank up on some points for Team General Fiction. And you also join me at the ceremonial changing of the bookmark. I haven't read a book physically for this readathon yet, so I haven't taken you with me yet to go through these. I am completely insane, and I like to have the ribbon of my bookmark matching the cover of the book that I am reading. So I have a couple of options that are already opened. I've got this one. It's a kind of a light blue that will definitely match with the light blue that's up at the top. I have got this kind of tealy turquoisey that will also match, maybe even slightly better. But I also haven't opened a new bookmark in quite some time, and these are absolutely, there's so many of them, and I keep buying them every time that I go into the bookshops over here in Germany. We're going to go with the initial two options. The Enjoy Every Moment. So there's this one, When the Light Lets It Focus. That's so bright it's not going to show. And then there was, I think that's a salvia, whatever the hell that is. I think it's some kind of a flower, which makes it very appropriate for this leg, number one, because a flower is definitely a nature thing, but also it's really appropriate because it matches the cover pretty much bang on. Let's get started.
Let's get him involved. It is Friday morning. It is the day Face Off kicks off. I have got a lot to do before 6 o'clock turns up. It is right now 20 past 9 in the morning. My work day has just started about 45 minutes ago. I have got a lot to do for work. This is one of my busy days. Friday is a very busy, heavy meetings day, but I'm going to finish the audiobook of Beartown while I'm in between meetings. I think I've got about 30% of the book to go, and I'm really getting to the nitty-gritty part of this book. Like, obviously I already know what the story is. Having put it on my host favorites, I already knew what was going to happen. It's just that right now, all of that stuff is about to happen. I kind of need to be in an area where I can concentrate on it, and also in an area where I can freely and willingly cry in the comfort of my own home on my own. So that's that. When 12 o'clock rolls around, I need to remember to post my Be Real. And when I say Be Real, it is the detour that we have for the Cape Town prompt. Every day in Cape Town, there is a gun salute or a cannon fire at 12 o'clock. And so when 12 o'clock rolls around here, I've got to show everybody what it is that I am doing. Why don't I take you guys with me and do a little back tour behind the scenes of what it is that I was actually doing at 12 o'clock? While they get to see the picture, you get to see everything else. Then we've got Face Off starting at 6. I'm going to hop on sprints with Brie for a little bit. I'm going to just get a couple of books read. I'm going to put my pile of possibilities together. You will more than likely see more of that in the Face Off vlog that is going to come out on Monday rather than here. But I have no idea what chaos is coming ahead of us. I just know that all we need to do is to get our flight. That's all that we need to know. We are stranded in the airport, and usually when I'm stranded in an airport, I will just take it easy, go for a snack, and read a book. I don't think that's the kind of thing I need to be doing this time. So that's how the day is gonna go. Let's see if I can get a little bit of sightseeing put in. I don't know if I'm gonna go for sightseeing or if I'm gonna go for Face Off with every book. I might do like a one-on-one. I might decide how I feel when I get to the end of the book. I have got some ideas. Let's see where we go with them. I am right in the middle of my workday. I have actually just managed to figure out something that I have been working on all bloody morning. So let me take a picture of what my desk looks like right now. Done. And let me show you guys what my desk looks like right now. Not going to show you too much of what I do for work for obvious reasons, but there is my keyboard. I have got my Kindle ready for this evening. I have got candles because I always have candles lighting when I'm at work. I've also got some backups for when that goes. There's my reading journal. Over here I've got this massive desk tidy with loads of little monkeys and we think it's a cat. I've got all of the stuff in here. I like to have little breath mints beside me. There is my breakfast from this morning. There's some reading notes from what I need to film. And there's my favorite little mouse mat. I know it's upside down, I know, but I feel it a little bit better to work with it sideways than to work with it right way up. It's just coming on 10 past 3. I think my workday is done. I haven't taken a lunch break, and sometimes on a Friday I like to skip through lunch and finish up a little bit earlier. And also, one of my work projects that I've been working on for a couple of months is finally finished. And when that is done, I like to go out and have a little treat for myself. So I might go and do that now, and then come back and be ready in time before Face Off weekend starts. So I'm going to go straight over to the new vlog, and you're going to see me there. But I also have a treat for you guys. Or a trick.
depending on how you see it. Because I had a chat with Brie early this morning, late last night, her time, and I just asked her how her preparations were going and how all of like Face Off weekend was going, and she said, "Oh, I have to tell you something." And I said, "Okay, what?" General Fiction Team, one of the producers has given us the U-turn vote. We don't know who. I didn't ask who, but we definitely have got a target on our backs. And I don't think that that is news that we are going to take sitting down. So if you think that that is something that we are possibly going to be suffering from, why don't you come back next week and see what happened?